and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lawrencia and this is Bantz with Lawrencia. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing great. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. For today's episode, I want to talk about a trending topic that has been trending on social media, and that is people stealing from other people to japa. People stealing from other people to travel. People taking a job money that is meant for a group of people to... It's not even taking, stealing people's money to travel, basically. So there's been this has been going on for a very long time. But I just thought, this is just one-off, or this is just two people. But it is ongoing. It is going on every day. Now, for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, there are videos online of people who are in a group, contribution. They call it a jaw in Nigeria. I don't know what they call it outside, but it is like a group of people, let's say 10, 12, 15 people, sometimes even more people, like 50, 100 people, depending on the group that you're in. People come together to make monthly contributions, daily contributions, or even weekly contributions, and then one person from the group takes the contribution to sort or solve a problem, and then they keep paying that money on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis for another person to take the pot of money. So this is called a joy in Nigeria, and it has helped a lot of people. Even in the UK here, I know of friends who wanted to buy a house and they were not able to kind of save that bulk of money to be able to do that. Sometimes just even furnishing the house, you don't have that money to do that. So people get into these groups, and sometimes they're able to negotiate with the group admin or the group, whoever is in charge of the group, because some people want to take first and some people want to take last. Some people just want to be in the middle to be on the safe side. So if you're in a very dire need of cash and you're able to negotiate to be at the first batch of the people, then you have a more advantage of taking that bulk of money and sorting yourself out and then paying on a monthly basis. It's more like getting a loan from the bank without the interest being attached to it. So it is a very good practice for people who need fast cash and then pay later without any interest. So this has been going on in Nigeria for a very long time. Even when I was in Nigeria, I've never been involved with a job, so to say, because I feel I am very disciplined with money. Maybe that is why I'm able to do it. I'm able to save myself. But there are some people who are not disciplined with money. Like, they cannot save that bulk of money and just allow it to sit there and then use it for what they want to use it for. So what some people do is getting group of friends, group of neighbors, community members, or group of strangers, because there are sophisticated ajo people that actually go around the market or offices or even residential areas to say, okay, join this group, just pay 100 naira, 1,000 naira, 50,000, whatever the situation is, and then you get this amount of money. So it has helped a whole lot of people. I personally know people who has benefited a lot from these things. So as we all know, in Nigeria, like, the security situation is bad. I mean, the whole world is in economic crisis right now, but I think in Nigeria, it has become kind of a status thing to say I am leaving Nigeria, because let's face it, it's not easy to especially naira and dollars, or naira and pounds right now is at a crazy rate, exchange rate. So it's more of a status thing to be able to leave Nigeria at this point in time, and a whole lot of people are doing everything possible to get out of Nigeria. So what happens is that people get into ajo groups or contribution groups or whatever you want to call it, and then once that money hits their hand, sometimes even the admin members take this money and run away with it before even getting to the first batch of people to collect that money, or the last batch of, like, it's been going on. The first one that actually got my attention was of a guy a married man with children, was introduced to ajo, and the first he wanted to be the first person to take this money, and the first money that people felt, okay, this is a married man with children, like we know the wife, we know the children, there's no way he's going to do anything crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, this man got this money. He has a side chick by the side, and people were not aware. Maybe they were aware, but they just felt this man is married. He's grounded. He's committed to his family. He's not going to do anything crazy. This man took the money, processed a student visa for his side chick, and they both left Nigeria. He was a dependent to the side chick, and they are wherever they are right now. Everybody's going to the UK, so everybody's assuming that they are coming to the UK, but allegedly they came to the UK for studies, and he is dependent on her. That was the first one that got my attention, because it was a huge outcry on social media where the people, or the group of Ajo people, were now knocking at the door of the wife saying, where's your husband? The wife was confused. The wife was like, he went on a business trip, I've not seen him, this, that. They were like, oh, he took our money. Nobody was able to reach the man. Nobody was able to reach the side chick either. So a lot has been going on because of people wanting to travel, and we cannot blame people for wanting to travel, but I think the way people go about it is crazy. A recent one again is of a lady who is working in a financial institution as a personal assistant to the madam, or whatever she's being called at that organization. She diverted tens of millions of naira from that account and processed her visa. I mean, this person was on suspension. We didn't know why they were on suspension, because they said a bunch of staff were in suspension based on whatever the situation was at that point. So she was on suspension. This lady accessed the account, stole that money, and jackpot with it. She traveled with it. Nobody knew where she is, because everybody has been trying to contact her. The lady, her boss, that she was assisting, actually came out. She was crying. Her mother fainted. I mean, you can imagine the distress that she would be in, because this is your personal assistant. Regardless of whether you give her access or not, all eyes will be on you, because they'll be like, okay, what did you do wrong? How did she gain access to all the accounts? She's supposed to be assisting you, not doing the job, or something like, how these people are. Sometimes people get personal assistants and they just relax and let them do all the jobs, while they just sit down on the phone, on the net, on the grams, just doing whatever they want to do, while the personal assistants actually do the job. So nobody knows the situation, but this lady is in distress. She's crying, she's begging, and nobody knows where this girl has gone to. And another thing is, Nigerian immigration, before you start tracking all these things, you'll be the one to buy fuel. You first of all report to police station. You'll be the one to buy fuel for them to even start investigation. You have to give them money. Listen, then you go to the airport authorities before they will now track, all those things, because all this investigation costs money, and you be the one spending all these things. And if you don't have money to do these things, then nobody is motivated to actually carry out the investigation. So it is crazy. People are getting away with all these things. Another one, there was a recent video where the lady actually confronted that person. I mean, she was trying to jackpot. They did her job money. She was trying to jackpot. She took the money, but allegedly she was denied visa. But then she has spent most of the money doing all those, processing the visa, running around and trying to get everything in place. But she was denied visa. So the lady, like the admin, because they have an admin who collects the money, who disperses the money, who follow up all these things. So she actually confronted this lady, like, what did you do with the money? Tell us what you did with the money. Where did you, people are wilding. People are wilding. I mean, sometimes I sit down and I think, like, people don't do research. I mean, the reason why I'm even talking about these things is that you don't have to steal to travel. You don't have to. There are so many countries where you can get scholarship. If you want to travel, there are so many scholarships you can apply for. If you don't want scholarship, there are so many schools. UK is not the only country you can come and study. If you're talking about Europe now, there are like Germany, like Holland. There are so many countries in EU that you can study for free. All you need to do is process your visa, come in, and then learn the language. But people don't want to sit down and do research because everybody is going to the UK. Everybody wants to come to the UK. Now, even if you don't have you don't want to go to other countries that you have to learn the language, you can sit down and do nursing. So many nursing jobs that are available because those that are in the UK, after going to school, they decide to go to America, Canada, Australia because they pay them more in those places. So UK are training nurses but are losing nurses on a daily basis. So they need to recruit from other countries to fill in those gaps. So there are so many opportunities. Healthcare. I mean, I don't understand why people don't even look into healthcare jobs. But then when you pay all this money and come here, you still go into healthcare services. If you're coming to the UK and you know that you're not technologically savvy, you cannot, even if you're an accountant, even if you're a lawyer, even if and you know you cannot use the computer, just respect yourself and do healthcare. Do healthcare. Because whatever you may have studied in Nigeria and you don't know basic office etiquette, you don't know how to use basic softwares that will enable you carry out your jobs, then it is better for you to sit down in Nigeria, do your nursing, study your nursing. Then when you come here, you can do your job. Because what happens is these people pay all this crazy money and then they still come here, they still do care, they still do social work, they still do healthcare assistance, and you have paid all this money. You have paid all this money. You're struggling to go to school to get your certificate. You're struggling to renew your visa. You're struggling to do a whole lot of things while you're working at the bottom end of the spectrum, doing healthcare services, doing care job, where you would have, in the next 4 years, you're still basically scraping down the barrel. Whatever country you're coming from, do your nursing, do your healthcare, social work. There are so many. These courses are in Nigeria, these courses are in Africa, but because we don't regard them as anything, I mean, nobody's going to sit down and say, oh, social work, what am I studying social work for? But these are money here. If you do that in Nigeria and bring that certificate here, you have a better chance. You're not going to just get into the system and start doing care work. You're going to help yourself and you're going to get a job straight from Nigeria before even coming to this place. Once you're landing, you're getting your accommodation, you just struggle for that first month before your salary is being paid to kind of relax yourself. You can even stay with somebody to get for that 1 month to get yourself steady, and then once your salary is paid, you can now get an accommodation and sort yourself out. Help yourself. You don't have to steal to travel. I think the problem is that people don't do research. People don't sit down and people don't have patience. People don't have patience. So they look at 4 years to study nursing and they be like, oh my God, 4 years, what am I doing? Sitting down doing nursing for 4 years when I'm supposed to be in the UK balling. My dear, you're going to come to UK and in that 4 years, you're going to be at the bottom end of the spectrum. You're thinking about immigration. You're thinking about renewing your visa. You're thinking that because you came in as a student, you're thinking about going to school, studying, graduating, and then you're still good. Listen, I know somebody. I know this is actually a friend who did master's degree, in fact was doing PhD and was still doing care job. It did not make sense to me. I was like, what is the point? Like, what exactly is the point? If you know this is something that you want to do, go do it with your full chest. Even if you're saying, oh my God, I don't like nursing. Oh, I don't like this. You're still going to come into this country. You're going to clean the bums of those people if you don't have a plan. If you don't plan your life, you're thinking, oh no, I don't want to work in the hospital. You're going to come there and do that. That is the job that is available, entry level jobs. These are the entry level jobs, and you're paid peanuts compared to if you had stayed back and sorted yourself out, planned yourself out. You would have been earning like 2-3 times what you would have been earning if you were doing. Like, see, people need to just plan their lives. Plan your life. Don't just travel because there's the situation. Every country right now is struggling. Even the UK, we are changing prime minister, like we're changing, I don't even know what to call it right now, because of the economic situation. Everybody is going through it. Every country is going through it. Don't just leave just because you want to leave. Don't just leave because you're getting uncomfortable where you are. Have a plan. Have a plan. Now, even the masters that we're talking about, that people are coming in, trooping in, Nigeria has been put on the list where they said they're going to stop Nigerians bringing in dependents. Like, this dependent has been on a topic for a very couple of weeks now, because of what the UK say they may do. They may withdraw that dependent application, because according to them, Nigeria is one of those countries that are abusing. Not just Nigeria. I mean, we have India on the list, we have China on the list, we have other countries on the list, but I mean, we're talking about Nigerians because we are Nigerians and because Nigerians are on that list. Now, the reason why Nigeria is on that list is because we have bastardized this privilege. Now, you see people marry now because, oh, I have an opportunity with him to travel. People marry people now because, like, there's this story I heard. There's this guy dating a girl, and he is not he's a business person basically, so he wanted to travel, and he was dating this girl at a time where she just graduated. They were just dating, nothing really serious, but because he felt, okay, she's educated, I can pay her school fees and then be a dependent on her when we travel. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy paid her school fees. They got married. They traveled, not knowing that she already has a boyfriend in the UK. This whole story is UK. I've not heard about America, to be honest. They're all UK, so I don't know what is happening in the UK right now. So he paid her school fees. They applied for visa. He's her dependent basically. So the plan was that he is going to come in, she's going to be studying, and then he is going to be working, paying the bills, and they will just, start a family. Like, these people were dating, casual dating. She's with him because of what she's getting out of him. He saw the opportunity of saying, okay, I'm dating this girl. Let us just do this thing because it seems like it's going to work. They both had the agenda of what they wanted out of each other, but they did not sit down to think, do we align our mental? Do we align mentally? Do we align, our values? Does our value align? Those were not, being considered, because all they wanted was that we want to travel. This guy has the money to pay for my master's, and I have the opportunity to go to the UK and meet my boyfriend. That was the motivation for her. And he was like, okay, I cannot study because I am not, into education. So she is, a better option for me to travel. These two people traveled. Once the lady got into the country, she followed she followed her boyfriend. She followed her boyfriend though. This guy was working, as was worse, because the boyfriend she thought was in the UK had his papers. The guy did not even have his papers complete. So when she left the guy that, paid for her to travel and everything, for the UK guy that she thought, he's been here for a very long time, so he must have his papers. She's looking at, red passports and all those kind of things. She followed this guy. So the one that was, dependent, he was working. He met somebody else. His sister was already in the UK. They did, met somebody else, got her pregnant, started sorting himself out. While that one was wild. In fact, she was not even going to school because she felt she is with her boyfriend that, has his papers. They caught the two of them. Immigration. I don't know what the guy did. According to the story, he was driving without a license. I mean, if you don't have paper, can you have license? But he was driving without a license because I think he just wanted to show her that, I am the person I told you I am. He was driving without a license. That was how he was arrested, because I think they said he was driving at the middle of the road. Listen, UK has crazy laws. It's not like Nigeria that you come and be driving James Bond on their road. He was arrested. That was how they realized that this guy does not even have papers. He does not have papers. And then she was with him. She also, her student visa, it has expired, and she was not even going to school. The two of them, they were deported back to Nigeria. So people need to start thinking about other ways to travel. There are so many other ways you can travel. If you want to travel and you know that you cannot work in an office, you cannot sit down and use a software, go and do healthcare, do nursing, do nursing. This country is so, organized and so, tech savvy that you cannot come and they are going to be teaching you how to press mouse in an office. No, they're not going to do it. But if you're going to go into healthcare, I mean, your techniques they are not trying to see if you can send an email or if you can use a software. That is not, they are trying to see your know-how, how you can save people. How you can save people. So do yourself a favor. You must not travel as a student. If you want to travel, sit down and ask yourself why. If you are able to tell yourself the truth, you will solve 90% of your problem. Why do you want to travel? Do you want to travel because you want to actually study, develop yourself, study, and then be an academician? If that is what you want to do, then by all means, pay for that school fees and travel. But if you know that you're traveling because you want to go and hustle, because you want to go and make money, instead of paying that 15,000, 16,000 pounds as school fees, not minding all the accommodation fees and maintenance fee money that you're going to be paying, you're going to be spending on, sit down, take 3-4 years, do that nursing. It will save you a whole lot of stress. It will save you. You will not need to go and steal people's job money to travel if you sit down and actually do these things. I know people think, oh my God, it's so difficult. Nothing is so. You are going to come here and clean bum cheeks of people if you don't sit down and plan your life. People, just do your research. Do your research before you start stealing people's money, before you start marrying for visa, before you start dating for people, just dating because of somebody is in the US or in the UK or in Canada. Help yourself. Regardless of what you think somebody else can give you, you can give that to yourself. Don't go and waste 10 years of your life thinking, oh my God, and I see people who are much older doing these things, and I'm like, how long do you think you have? I'm not saying they're going to die young, but before you now struggle, do all these things to get your papers, to get your visas, to sort yourself out, you're already in the evening stage of your life. Listen, I am not even trying to claim righteousness. I came here as a student. It took me a long time, because these are things that we've lived through. Anybody that is coming here in the next 2 days, they're telling you, oh my God, UK is bad. UK is not bad. I can tell you that for free. There are so many opportunities that you can get. But if you're coming in as a young person, then you have time. Time is on your side to do all these things. But people I see traveling are people, young families, young people with kids. They're coming in to study masters, and this person is dependent on this person. I was like, do you know how much it's going to cost you to be renewing your visa? Hey, that's another story for another day. If I sit down here and start talking about all these things, we are not going to leave here today. So please do your research before you travel. Before you apply for that study visa, sit down, ask yourself, do I really want to study, or do I just want to make money? Do I want to travel and earn money and take care of my family? If traveling to earn money is what is your objective, your primary objective, then sit down, do nursing, do healthcare, whatever course that you can do in healthcare service. If you don't want nursing, there are so many other healthcare courses that you can take, and you trust me, you can get a job from the country, Nigeria, wherever you are, before you come here. Then you're earning immediately. It might take you longer to do those courses before you come in, do your certifications before you come in, but it will save you years of stress. If you're no longer happy with UK, you can easily apply to go to US, Canada. You have opportunities open to you if you do some of these courses. But you don't know how to use computer. That you can say, okay, I am coming here to do business admin, and then you don't know how to use software. You think in Nigeria, UK is the one that you come and be writing everything on the book. No, you're going to sit down and use the computer. If you cannot do that, sit down and do nursing. Sit down and do nursing, please. Don't steal people's money to travel when you don't have any plan. Don't do it. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. I don't know. I'm not saying don't travel, but have a plan. Know what you want to do, and make sure that what you want to do, what you're planning to travel, the visa you're planning to travel with, align with exactly what you want. So let me know, have you been in a situation where somebody has approached you to for marriage based on, okay, let us arrange these things, I have money for you to do masters, and then I'll be your dependent, let's travel together? Or have you been tempted where you're doing an ajo and you decide, I can actually use this money to jackpot, or somebody that has actually done that? So leave me a comment in the comment section. Or if you actually know, if you're in other countries that are cheaper, that people can actually travel with, leave that in the comment section, because I think people need to know these things. It's not just UK, it's not just US, it's not just Canada. There are so many other countries that you can go to that would give you, if it's money you want to make, you can make money in all these countries without spending as much as the amount of money that you're going to spend in UK, US, Canada, or Australia. So leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know, so that we can, if you want a follow-up video, I can do a follow-up video based on, things that people can do, or things people can prepare for when they want to travel. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Please like and share. Thank you very much. Bye bye.